She looked amazing. She said, "Victor, can I hug you?" And that for me was, wow. I felt like my goal was achieved. In the end, we all need to be heard. We all need to be seen. We all need to feel important to someone else. And when someone gives you even a little of their time, really connects with you, looks you in the eyes, and listens, magic happens.
Welcome to Cutting Edge, the podcast created and brought to you by L'Oreal Professional Products, an exclusive series about the world's top hairstylists. Through their unique stories, visions, and voices, these rule-breaking artists from around the world share their journeys to success, how they are shaping the future of hairstyling and professional beauty in their own way, and how they are elevating the profession to new heights. A podcast series produced by L'Oreal Professional Products. Today, we meet with Victor del Valle from Seville, Spain, a man whose human values, rich experience, and incredibly successful social media content are as big as his heart.
I am Victor del Valle. I am a hairstylist. I am 51 years old. I am from Barcelona, but I live in Seville. So I am neither Catalan nor Andalusian. Let's say I'm Catalusian. I am a very creative, open person. I like to feed and nourish myself with everything around me. I am passionate about my profession. And I would tell you, rather than just being passionate about your profession, you must professionalize your passion. More than becoming passionate about your profession, you should professionalize a passion.
Hello, Victor. It's great to have you with us today. All right, well, let's start by asking, what made you decide to become a hairstylist?
I decided to be a hairstylist because I like making people feel good. I say that being a hairstylist means selling emotions. Because I am a people pleaser, I like to please others. So it's like, wow, my goodness, here I can express myself. And when you meet the needs of others, wow, that's amazing.
Okay, well, now tell us about your personal journey. Where and how did it all begin?
I'm from Barcelona. I'm Catalan, but I've been in Seville for so many years. The first time I told my father, "Dad, I want to be an actor," my father put his hands to his head and said, "Are you crazy?" No. Then I told him, "Well, I want to be a designer then."
No.
And he told me, "Designer? No." And then I said, "Dad, it's not that what I want to be. I will be a hairstylist." I was 14. Back then, being a hairstylist was something that was little valued. Although in Barcelona, there were renowned hairstylists such as Jean Gras, Cebado, and Miquel Plana, Rafael Payés. It was a time when the hairstylist was a figure. However, the social stigma meant that your parents or family didn't want you to dedicate yourself to hairstyling. For me, it was an important decision, a decision I made with my heart, not my head. And I only had the support at that time of my grandmother, who was the only person who truly saw me and never stopped believing in me.
Very cool. Well, what was your first experience in a salon?
My first experience with a salon was in Barcelona. It was in Marcel's salon on the Boulevard Rosa. At that time, the first Gaudi catwalk was held, and there were models like Judith Masco. The salon was then visited by designers like Tony Miro, etc. It was la creme de la creme of Barcelona at that time. In fact, my first experiences were like that. With photographers and productions, I met many people from that world. I was in Barcelona until I was 18. When I turned 18, I had already worked as a hairstylist. It was the first year of conscientious objection, and I suggested to my father that I would do it, and he said no, that it would be better if I did military service. So I did my 9-month service. Instead, I did my military service, and when I finished, I went to Seville. When I arrived in Seville, I went to work as a hairstylist at the Corte Inglés. The Corte Inglés salons had an agreement with the television, and they did everything related to television from Canal Sur of Andalusia. We did everything. So I was in several TV shows, like La Banda del Sur. And then, for a long time, I did the hair and makeup for the news, for several things.
So, I heard you also went abroad to train yourself more and get new skills from different professionals.
To improve my skills, I had to train abroad, and I went in England with Vidal Sassoon, Tony and Guy. Then I went in France with Jacques Desange, in the Netherlands with the Kinky several times, because I also liked it a lot, and of course in Spain with hairstylists like Rizos, etc. Because in Seville at that time, there were very few opportunities to continue training. Then as time passes by, I think, my goodness, how brave it was, with 20 years, to invest what I earned, the money I earned in training myself, technically, in hairstyling. Because I realized that the artistic aspect is very important, but so is the technique. So I had to develop both sides, which are the creativity and technique.
While you were on this journey in Barcelona, did you observe any big changes regarding the salons and clients?
The hairstyling business evolved at a frantic pace. I really saw it from the beginning. Before, in Barcelona, salons were places where women went either once a month, but also once a week. But at the ones where I worked, they came usually once a month, either for coloring and cutting, or just for a cut. In Seville at that time, in 1992, women went to the hairstylist every week. There were all kinds of ages. People really took care of themselves. They used a lot of makeup and very striking colors in clothes and hair. It caught my attention because I said to myself, this girl is going to work at the bank and looks like she's going to a wedding. It was something incredible. Back then, hairstyling was all about women having to go to the salon to look beautiful. Today is different. Nowadays, hairstyling has become, and in my case, even more, a space where people go to feel good, where they go to express themselves, so their external image is consistent with their needs, feelings, and emotions.
I see. Very cool. At what point in your journey did you learn your marketing skills?
In Seville, I grew as a hairstylist. Many years passed until I developed marketing knowledge, because I'm 51 and I have been in Seville since '92. It means I've been in Seville for 33 years, many years. Around 10 or 11 years ago, I went to Madrid. Thanks to L'Oreal, I did a master's degree, a small master's program in finance, human resources, and marketing. And there was a marketing teacher who told me something that totally changed my professional career. It was related to marketing. I had a huge ego, a very big ego. So I was showing her one of my editorials, and I said, look at what I do. Look at what I do. And she told me, yes, very well, Victor, but do people see it? And I said, what do you mean, if they see it? And she said, Victor, if what you do isn't shown, and even if it is shown, people don't see it, then it doesn't exist. And that blew my mind. I told myself, I have to make people see it. That became my goal. They must see it. And so I started asking around, To all the girls, all young girls, what did they want to see on Instagram or TikTok? What did they watch? So I started to realize that no matter how much I liked it, what I was showing wasn't of general interest until I managed to discover what the general interest was.
Can you tell us how you use communication through social networks to build your business model?
My business model was created through communication on social media, and I communicate about what I do, about what I have been doing all my life. It's not something different. It's what I've always done. The only difference is that I communicate it, and people like it and come to my salon. I started using TikTok and Instagram 9 years ago. I felt inside me that it was necessary, and I saw a very big chance to create a window to the world. Before, to be seen, you had to do it through advertising, publicity, either on television, or in the press, or on the radio, and it was very expensive. It was very expensive. And then when Instagram came out, I thought, my God, this is going to revolutionize the world. And on top of that, it's a free tool. And I thought, here I am. Here I have to be. So I started working and asking people of all ages to really understand what the younger public was looking for. And that's how I started.
When you put it that way, it sounds simple, but I know it's not.
It sounds simple, but it's not. In the end, it's about defining yourself. That's what it is, showing your essence. It's about showing the truth. Authenticity. It's something you do, and people like it because it's the truth. Not everyone who comes to the salon is perfect, beautiful, or tall, right? Or has ideal measurements. And I discovered that through Instagram comments, because at first I realized the cost of hiring a model, paying for editing, or a professional photographer. It was all too expensive. So I got into a modeling and fashion school to teach visagism and makeup classes. And there, I was in contact with all the young girls, the up-and-coming models. They all came to the salon. I styled them, did their makeup, designed their color, and they became my models for social media. But then people started saying, if you're not a model, you don't belong in that salon. Or, if you're not beautiful, what about those of us who have no hair? What about us? So it became very clear that there was a real need out there. So I decided to show it all in a natural way. But I'm not talking about showing someone looking worse, looking uglier, or more flawed, or blinder than they really are. Each of us has something. Nobody's perfect. But we're going to normalize that and give it visibility. So yes, there's inclusion. But that's not the goal. If I had to name it, I'd say naturalness, truth, honesty.
So what feedback do you get from other hairstylists about this communication you've put in place?
When I go to a hairstyling event and I meet male and female hairstylists, older, like 75 years old, and they approach me and tell me, Victor, you do it so well. And I say, thank you. But why? And they tell me, because through social networks, you show what we hairstylists have been doing all our lives, which is listening to customers, making them feel good, and connecting with them somehow. You connect with them emotionally, and magic occurs. My business model is nothing more or less than what hairstylists have been doing for many years.
Now tell us about your salon today. What services do you offer, and what do people come in for?
The services we offer at the hair salon are quite classic hairstyling services. And when I say classic, I mean color, cut, hairstyling, and treatments. People come to my salon for transformations. Transformations are something I've been passionate about all my life. In fact, it's what I like the most. Transformations for the client, not for me. I invite people to take a leap because I believe that if you do the same thing, the result will be the same. Many times, we don't take that leap because no one pushed us, or simply because we don't see it, and so we don't change. That's why I love doing transformations. What happened? Well, people liked it, and it's the most requested service in the salon today.
Behind the scenes, how do you choose the people who work with you, your team members? And what's your view on management?
How do I select colleagues? Well, I try to select people, initially, based on humility, because from there, you can learn a lot. I look for humility, and ideally, humility combined with talent. For me, management is discipline, demand, but with your heart and with calm. You have to delegate. It's something that is very difficult for all of us. But we must delegate and professionalize each position. It is very important to be able to focus on what you really know how to do well and keep doing it well. It's the only way to shine. If you don't, you will saturate yourself. You take on too many things, and you can't do it well. In addition to that, I'm connected to marketing, connected to finance, and connected to human resources. That doesn't mean that I take care of it, but I have the need to be connected to what happens in the hair salon every day. But I dedicate to that 2 afternoons a week. The rest of the week, I dedicate myself to what I really like to do.
Curious minds would like to know, how do you see the future of hairstyling?
How do I see the future of hairstyling? I think specialization is something very important because you can't do everything well. If you focus on something, it's easier for you to develop it in a much more effective way. And of course, education and training, especially education with the client, to provide the necessary information that is needed for a personalized service. The diagnosis is the key. It's the most important step. In addition, it's through the diagnosis that you can provide all the information to the client. The service you're going to provide, why, and for what purpose. What's the treatment you are going to perform? Why and what routine to follow at home to take care of both the scalp and the hair? And what kind of styling to use on a daily basis? I mean the hairstyle or different hairstyles for each occasion, because each style can have several uses.
You're very well known for your work with women with breast cancer, or cancer in general. What kind of work do you do with them?
What I do with people who have cancer is to support them, to help them do what they need to do to feel better. There are a lot of people affected by breast cancer, and cancer in general. And people can relate. What's interesting is that many nurses from other cities in Spain come to the salon. It's curious because nurses are caregivers. And I think that creates a connection with my work, the need to care for others, to make them feel better. It all began with the desire to give visibility to something that's as common and real as going to the hair salon, having to shave, and wearing a prosthesis. Why shouldn't we show that? Why not? It's reality. And I love being able to support these people, to help them, because appearance matters, just like for everyone. Then, the support of a professional hairstylist comes in. And when I say that, I'm not talking about hair prosthesis merchants, or, with all due respect, wig sellers. With all due respect, many of us hairstylists can do incredible adaptations with hair prostheses. Sometimes, just a fringe makes all the difference. Or a touch of color. Or even simply using your fingers to give a bit of volume to the hair prosthesis. For people who feel so vulnerable, so insecure, our work is essential. It's something that can save their lives. And it's not about whether it's natural hair or a synthetic wig. It's about choosing the hair prosthesis with the right shape or color. So why should we hide something so crucial and necessary for those people who desperately need it?
Well, can you tell us a story about a transformation you provided for a client with cancer?
There was a woman with a strong Venezuelan accent. She arrived with half of her hair white and the other half dark. She was obviously going through a transition to gray hair and had been doing so for about 9 months. So it was actually quite simple. If you've already come this far, you just need to cut off the dark part and you're left with the white. You could do that anywhere. You don't need to come to Seville for that. But this person had traveled all the way from Rome to Seville with her appointment made 9 months in advance, just to have her hair cut by me. So I asked her, "What brings you here?" And she told me, "Victor, I'm here because I'm an oncological patient. I want to tell you my story." She said, "I'm a journalist. I studied journalism in Barcelona. I lived there for 11 years. And then I moved to Rome, where I live now. And the truth is, after cancer, when my hair started to grow back, I felt a strong need to look like I used to. So I grew my hair long again, and I dyed it dark. But I started watching your videos, and while watching your videos, I realized, oh my God, what this man does. And I realized that I actually didn't want to be the same as before, because I'm not anymore. I want to be the best version of who I am, and not of who I was. And for that, I chose you. For that, I grew white hair. And for that, I came here. Then I said, "We're going to cut your hair short." And she said, "Are you sure? It's not that obvious for me. I've never seen myself with short hair. Look." I visualized her with short, really short hair. Hair short as a boy's, wearing a shirt and a tie. She looked amazing. Amazing. And she gave me an amazing hug when she said, "Victor, can I hug you?" And that for me was, wow, I felt like my goal was achieved.
That's incredible. It sounds like meeting people's needs is your #1 priority.
In the end, we all need to be heard. We all need to be seen. We all need to feel important to someone else. And when someone gives you a little of their time, really connects with you, looks you in the eyes, and listens, magic happens. To make sure you're responding to people's needs, you just have to listen. Starting from that premise, we can build everything else. So I like to observe, to listen, before making a decision. And when I make it, I know that the first thing I'm doing is meeting your needs.
So are you surprised that people come from so far to see you?
The fact that people from everywhere come to the hair salon, mainly, I suppose, because of the language. People from South America, Argentina, Chile, Mexico. Some come specifically to see me. Others take advantage of a trip to Spain. There are even clients who booked 9 months or a year in advance. For me, it's incredible. And the average age of these people is 40-something, even 50. But the number of young people, and when I say young, I mean 8-year-olds, I truly feel very fortunate because I think the new generations know me. When you go to the market and suddenly see a child looking at you and doing this, and he pulls on his mom's skirt saying, "Mom, look, it's the old man from TikTok." And I wonder, is it the white beard? Do I look like Santa Claus? Or just like a nice grandpa? It's quite surprising how the new generations know me and recognize me. And I love it, because I believe they are pure souls.
What is beauty to you? And what do you think is your contribution to it?
Beauty is not in the absence of wrinkles. For me, that's not beauty. For me, beauty is when the image you project outside is really the one you agree with, the image you feel connected to. It is that image that truly shows your serenity, your calm, your balance. That's where beauty is. My contribution to beauty is to create that image, or help you create that image that you don't even know exists. People look at the mirror satisfied, and that's magic. That's really the passion I feel for my profession, making others feel good.
What advice would you give to young hairstylists just coming into the business?
To all young people who want to be hairstylists, I encourage you, I invite you to really discover the essence of the profession. It's a profession in which we contribute to helping others. So all the people like me who are a little complacent, we are going to help and contribute to the lives of many people. In addition, for all those people who are highly technical, I will tell you that there is an inexhaustible source of learning and development and a very important need in society, but also a need that everyone has. This is not a clock. Like, I want to have a clock instead of checking the time on my mobile. No. Hair is the complement that accompanies us every day. We all have hair or a beard. We all need a hairstylist, a professional. So, you can imagine the work there is waiting in the future. Guys, I encourage you to be hairstylists. Being a hairstylist is very exciting, and it's a profession with a bright future.
Victor, you are amazing. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your experience with us. We will see you soon. Victor Del Valle's vision, his spirit, his love and care for others, and his talent for creating transformational experience for his clients are unparalleled. He truly carries the flame for the Spanish hairstyling industry and inspires worldwide. Thank you for listening to Cutting Edge, the podcast, an exclusive podcast series by L'Oreal Professional Products. Discover the unique stories of international rule breakers hairstylists. Don't hesitate to subscribe and rate this podcast. And remember, all our episodes are available on every major streaming platform.